All right. Okay, for those tuning in, we're just gonna do a live version of Spice Out Cafe in the kitchen right here. You gotta
Hi
say something.
everybody.
You're on. You're live. I'm
Again,
doing.
very spontaneous. I just decided, I don't want to cook for dinner today. So I told Neil I am just going to do something that we used to purchase in the bakeries back home called Meal-In-A-Loaf. So you get the meat and the cheese, everything in one. So it's like one meal. So you guys are in for a treat. Meal-In-A-Loaf.
For those of you on the Instagram live as well, you can go to the main channel, vlog, vlog.spiceoutcafe.com. So yeah, that allows you to actually see it there. Let me make
Hi everyone. Hi. Sending out kisses. Kisses, y'all.
So as I said today, we're going to do the Meal-In-A-Loaf. Normally I take over, I take charge, but I figured I'll let Spice Out Cafe have at least one chance to shine. That's the least I can do.
Everyone knows the real boss up in here. Woo, woo. He just has a lot of this, mouth. But all right, so if you are just joining in, I am about to start what we call Meal-In-A-Loaf. So I hope that you guys are ready and in for a treat, basically. So I am going to start. You guys can check out my vlog, vlog.spiceislecafe.com, and the recipe will be there. So if you want to try that later, I decided not to do dinner, like full on food tonight. And we're going to do all the meals.
So unfortunately, I won't have anything to eat. I thought I would have been getting dinner on time, but I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, no rice and peas and stew dung and none of those things tonight. We're keeping it simple, everything nice in one dough, baked off, beautiful, but we have to beat the dough first. Meal-In-A-Loaf, that's what I'm doing today. So I hope you guys, stay tuned in until the end.
Come, so right. Let's go. Let's get started.
Yeah, you can't rush this. You can't rush this. You can't rush this. Is this the
if y'all want Carol looking at y'all, you have to go on the main channel, the blog, the spiceoutcafe.com. This is my private Instagram feed, live feed. So I don't even know why a lot of you are here. To be honest.
Be nice. Tell him to be nice. He needs to be nice. Okay, you have to see what the people are saying.
Yeah, cool base, and as usual, always.
Yeah, we need some more. So I'm using all-purpose flour. We're making Meal-In-A-Loaf. So I decided not to cook tonight. I'm gonna bake. All right. So I'm using all-purpose flour, Meal-In-A-Loaf. I'm using 3 cups of flour. I have a yeast rising. The yeast is rising here, and I'm gonna do my do. Okay.
You gotta keep talking.
Well, I have to make sure that people can see what
I don't know what you're doing. You're supposed to be explaining to me what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing.
Again, I am going to take 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf. It's something we used to purchase back home, meaning all the Grenadians out there, you know who you are, but anyone can learn. We used to purchase this Meal-In-A-Loaf, so the bakeries close to our home used to have that a whole lot. So all-purpose flour, nothing fancy, but delicious. I know it's probably hard for you guys to see, but all I'm doing is I'm gonna take this off so you can see, because it's hard to show you all this. Forgive us, we're learning as we go.
I don't know who is this we thing.
Oh my goodness. I am going to show you what I'm doing basically. I'm going to take this up. Okay, everyone. We're making Meal-In-A-Loaf. It's a pastry that I used to eat back home. Grenada. I'm using 3 cups of flour.
Daniel is saying Neil knows everything already, which is right, you know. I don't know why we're saying
I'm using 3 cups of flour. I'm just using all-purpose flour. And I am going to put a pinch of salt. Well, I'm going to use a pinch of salt in this. Now I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way. I just cup my hands, put a little bit in there. It's kind of like close to a teaspoon or something.
That looks like more than a teaspoon.
And I am actually going to just mix that up, okay? Hi, everyone. If you are tuning in, I am making what you call Meal-In-A-Loaf. I just put 3 cups of flour in here, so 3 cups of flour with a pinch of salt. I am actually using a mixture of Crisco, so shortening, and butter. So I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of each and mix it in there.
I didn't see you measure. And you got always
when you are pro like me, you don't need to measure anymore.
You meant like you pointed at the wrong person when you said
oh my gosh. Anyway, so I have 3 cups of flour and I am putting in 4 tablespoons of butter and 4 tablespoons of Crisco.
What is Crisco? How people supposed to know?
It's like shortening, you know. So I'm just cutting on 3 or 4 tablespoons of that and putting it in here. So if you are just joining in, thank you so much for being a part of our shenanigans here. I decided not to cook tonight and just put every...
You decided or I allowed you?
Everyone know who is the boss right now. You need to be reading what the people are saying. Hey,
at the same time, thank you.
He is a hot mess, y'all. A hot mess.
This is why I have to be here.
He is a hot mess.
Come on, let's
I don't even know why he is wearing gloves because he's not doing anything.
Stick to the plan. Come on.
Oh my goodness. So, if you are just joining in, I am actually doing Meal-In-A-Loaf.
You keep saying we.
Neil said we. Okay, we. Meal-In-A-Loaf. And I promise I'll wash my hands after.
I just walked in front of the cam, so unprofessional.
Yeah, I put a pinch of salt, 4 tablespoons of shortening or Crisco, and 4 tablespoons of butter. And now I'm going to use my good old hands. I promise you I'll wash that afterwards. And I'm just going to use my fingers to mash it into the flour. 3 cups of flour. All-purpose flour. If you're not someone who likes all-purpose flour, you can use baking flour or whichever one you prefer. But if you are going to use something like gluten-free or so, you may have to change up the recipe to suit. Okay. So, hi everybody.
Oh,
Neil is not checking in.
I'm checking in. Yeah.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, Pube seems coming out of quarantine at least 1 weight class heavier. We all know you're at least 10 weight class heavier already.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
I am making Meal-In-A-Loaf. If you're just joining in, I have 3 cups of flour in my mixer bowl here. And a pinch of salt with 4 tablespoons of with 4 tablespoons of butter and 4 tablespoons of shortening. And this is what, I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me bring it up close.
I have to do everything.
Just be very careful.
So this is what I've been doing. Yeah. So that's what. All right, that's good.
Okay.
I have better names than yours. Yes.
Okay, so so now you want it this size. You see it's almost kind of like peas. Okay. Then I make a little well. You all know how to make a well in the middle. I made a little well in here, and then I'm going to put the yeast. So all you need, I just use active dry yeast, 1 teaspoon, of sugar, and some lukewarm water, and just let it sit for 5-10 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this baby in there now.
So Carolyn is asking why am I not needing the flour, but we all know I supervise. I don't get my hands dirty.
Listen, he's walking around with gloves and apron, not doing anything but talking. Oh my goodness. So I am actually mixing the dough for Meal-In-A-Loaf right now. It's a pastry that we use, that we make back home, or bakeries make really. And I put 3 cups of flour, a pinch of salt with 4 tablespoons of butter and 4 tablespoons of shortening. And I put the yeast that was rising for about 5-10 minutes in here. And now I'm just using water to mix as we go along, okay?
Well, how long is this mixing gonna take? You've been mixing for like the past half an hour.
Oh my gosh, why are you giving so much trouble?
Because if I don't push you, I don't know who will. And
you would see when
asking why am I wearing gloves and not doing anything. You saw when I picked up the stuff and mixed a little bit right there.
Yeah, I'm not using my paddle attachment so that you guys can see, because I would be over on the other side. So I'm just using my spatula and my hands. And then I'm gonna wash my hands and put all of these.
Once more.
Good.
I have to do it.
It's fine. You don't have to do that now because it's almost done.
Why didn't you say that earlier? I could have brought it over.
No. We're gonna get this. This is very spontaneous, guys. Thank you all for joining in. I am doing what we call Meal-In-A-Loaf. It's a pastry. You can use it for breakfast, dinner. Well, we're using it for dinner certainly today because I'm not cooking tonight. Somebody's already crying.
No, I allowed you not to cook tonight.
Oh my goodness, he's such a hot mess. Okay, I want this dough. You don't want to over knead it. So I am just, let me show the people, Neil.
Mm-hmm.
Do I come over there?
Yeah, yeah, come on over.
Okay.
Right there. Let's bring it to the big screen.
So this is what my dough sort of kind of looks like. I am just going to smooth it out. Remember, 3 cups of flour, 4 tablespoons of shortening, and 4 tablespoons of butter with a pinch of salt, and the yeast that you rise, okay? So I'm just gonna mix this and leave it there to sit. You don't want to over mix it.
Remember to check out the blog, Spice Al Cafe, so you can get the nice big feed, nice high quality, so you can see exactly what's going on. Want to shout out to Daniel Nelson and Karine, who apparently can follow instructions.
You cannot insult the people.
They're on my private Instagram feed. So
yeah, you cannot insult the people.
Y'all are always so lucky that Carol's here to save you.
Yeah. Be nice. Oh my goodness, I have to tell them all the time to be nice. Oh my goodness. So, I do not have a picture of what this would look like unless you go to my blog right now.
SpiceAlCafe.com.
I am just going to cover this down with a towel. And I'm going to let it rest for a little bit. In the meantime, let me see me.
Let me take off the gloves. That's a lot.
He is just a pig.
Come on, stay focused, stay focused.
Okay, if you all are just joining in, you can cross in front of me.
I can do anything I want. You're not the boss.
Please.
Stay focused.
If you are just joining in, I just decided very spontaneously, this was not planned, to make Meal-In-A-Loaf, which is a pastry that we use back home. When I say back home, I'm talking about in the Caribbean, Grenada. And wow. I am I'm talking to the people. So he is so troublesome. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I just knead the flour and I'm letting it rest. And in the meantime, I am going to grate the cheese and the sausage for that.
So why don't we have the grater out already?
Oh my goodness.
This is why I'm here, you know.
Okay, so I am actually going to grate. I love this cheese here, Fontina cheese. It melts so beautifully when you have things like rice and you're trying to make rice cakes, or you are trying to do what I'm doing now, Meal-In-A-Loaf. This is a very good cheese because it melts so well in the oven, in the dough. And I'm gonna mix it with some Parmesan. Okay, so some Parmesan and some Fontina cheese. You can find this in Whole Foods or any specialty store. I think places like Target and maybe even Walmart sometimes you can find those. So you would have to look carefully, but I found this at Whole Foods. Today, I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf, people, and I'm about to grate the cheese. Okay. I hope you all are keeping safe out there. I decided not to cook tonight, so Neil is all wah, wah, wah.
You keep saying you decided as if I gave you that choice.
He is so sad.
No, I allowed you. We all know this was my idea.
Everyone knows who's the boss. Check out what the people say. The people might be asking questions here.
Just join. Come. Just decided to join.
Hey.
Is there some jiu-jitsu involved in this dish? Always.
No. So I'm using a 5-ounce. Don't do that. Seriously.
See, there's your jiu-jitsu.
I am using a 5-ounce. Oh my goodness. Neil is so distracting that he's taking away from you guys.
You're using a 5-ounce. Let's go.
5-ounce Fontina cheese and an 8-ounce of Parmesan for the Meal-In-A-Loaf, okay? So my fancy grater, y'all, you see the fancy grater? So I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf. I just knead the flour. It's resting now. I use 3 cups of all-purpose flour with some shortening, 4 tablespoons of that, and 4 of butter, a pinch of salt, and the yeast that I had rising. So now, my people, I am using Fontina cheese here. I'm grating that and some Parmesan. That's gonna go beautifully with the meat and what I'm gonna put in that dough. I'm not cooking tonight, I'm baking. So Neil has to be okay with that.
No, I decided what I'm okay with.
He is whining. You're not cooking. Yeah. I'm like, no food tonight. Carol, gone on strike. Food can. You guys know I cannot go on strike when coming to cooking, but
of course not.
I decided to mix it up tonight. So I am mixing Fontina cheese with Parmesan, and I am grating this. My dough is resting. Thank you all for joining and looking at our shenanigans tonight. We are making Meal-In-A-Loaf. It's a pastry that we use. It's savory.
We have an incoming question.
Yes, what's the question?
Poobe is asking, are the pastries stuffed or are you baking everything on top of the pastries?
Yeah, I am. It's gonna be stuffed though. it's like what he would see that I laid out. It's going to be stuffed. Everything is going to be inside and in a nice casing. And afterwards, so it's not like pizza. It starts off like I'm making pizza, and then you just cover it. It's like making a big, like how you make beef patty. You have to close the envelope. So soon. I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf. If you are just joining in, I decided not to cook tonight. So Neil has to eat Meal-In-A-Loaf. And I'm gonna lay everything down.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Is that the fastest you could do it?
Okay, Neil is just in the kitchen to give trouble.
No,
as you guys can see.
I would demonstrate, but because I'm running tech, yeah, I can't be on the laptop and here at the same time.
For those of you who don't know, this is my husband. He is troublesome.
I am?
He is a lot of trouble.
So who's the other guy?
Oh my God. I don't have words. I really don't have any words left. Okay, so this is just the rind part here. I'm gonna set that aside. Okay, cheese grate. And now I'm gonna grate the sausage. Now you can choose any sausage you like. It could be salami, it can be whatever it is that you like, okay? We just use sausage back home. So I am going to grate, you know what, let me put this here. I am gonna grate the sausage and have that ready. So those of you who want to know how to use this recipe, you can check out my blog, blog.spiceislecafe.com.
Or just spiceislecafe.com.
Or you can just go straight to spiceislecafe.com and look up Meal-In-A-Loaf. Meal-In-A-Loaf, that's what I'm doing. Using beef sausage here because some people, can't have other types of meat. So I'm gonna have, I'm using beef here, and I'm using fontina cheese and Parmesan cheese. I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf, people. You can do it too. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. You would be surprised. If you can make pizza, you can make Meal-In-A-Loaf. It's just that you're closing the door. Okay, I hope you all are keeping safe out there. You can put your questions, suggestions, whatever it is in the chat, and I would be happy to answer them all for you. Thank you all for joining in and listening to our shenanigans tonight. I'm not cooking, so that's what's happening. I'm making a Meal-In-A-Loaf because I decided not to cook. And I decided to make a pastry instead. So, all right. So this is all nice and grated up. I'm just going to take off the casing that seemed to just be hanging out. All right. So I'm going to wash my hands because we got to be real careful now. I hope you all are keeping safe out there. I am making Meal-In-A-Loaf. I decided not to cook my normal dinner. No rice and peas tonight, no stew, nothing. Just good old Meal-In-A-Loaf. And those of you who are from the islands know what I'm talking about. And those of you who are not from the islands, you're going to learn what I'm talking about tonight. So, you don't need a lot of ingredients. Simple is best sometimes. Okay. I need 1 egg. So what I'm going to do, I'm just taking out all the condiments that I need for this Meal-In-A-Loaf. After I take out the flour that's resting, I'm going to roll it out. And then the trick is to use mustard. And I am going to let you all pick which mustard you want me to use today. I have honey mustard, it's organic, and I have the yellow French mustard. So you tell me which mustard you like, and I would certainly use that mustard. Okay, so the majority rules. If you want French mustard, that's what I use. If you want Dijon, I'll use Dijon mustard. Okay, so let me hear what you say, and we'll go from there.
I'm listening.
Hi, let's see the questions, the comments.
I don't know why Pooh Bear isn't participating.
People are paying attention. They want to learn how to make this thing. So they're being pretty quiet.
Pooh Bear just needs to send a suggestion.
Well, it's not only Pooh Bear. There are tons of people on there that you need to check and see what they're saying.
But oh no, I always blame Pooh Bear for everything.
Okay, if you are just joining in, thank you so much for being a part of Meal-In-A Shenanigans.
He's not a fan of mustard, so he won't weigh in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Whole grain. I don't know.
Yes, there's whole grain, but I don't have whole grain mustard. I only have the organic honey mustard, and I have the yellow French mustard. So you can decide which mustard you want me to use. You guys can weigh in. I am making Meal-In-A-Loaf, and let us know.
So instead of weighing in, Pooh Bear is saying that you're supposed to keep your cheerleader in line. I don't know who your cheerleader is.
My goodness.
Pooh Bear, that's just respect.
Oh my goodness! I find you and Pooh Bear is on.
So Pooh Bear, you need to give a suggestion. Which mustard are we using? Are we using the yellow mustard or are we using the honey mustard?
Honey Dijon mustard.
Yeah, Pooh Bear's holding it up. And Carolyn isn't weighing in. I don't know why.
Okay, because people are paying attention. I'm gonna move some things out the way so you can, everyone can see what's happening. All right, so I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf. If you are just tuning in, it's one of the pastries that we use back home. And it's what I decided to make because I'm not going to cook tonight. So it's a pastry. It's on the savory side. And simple ingredients. I use all-purpose flour. And now I am using Fontina cheese with Parmesan cheese. You can use cheddar cheese, whatever is your favorite, you can do that. And I grated some sausage, beef sausage, and you have to weigh in now on which mustard I should use, okay? Honey mustard, Dijon, or do you want to do the classic yellow mustard, okay? Majority rules, let me know what you'd like as I get my tools out ready for rolling out the dough.
All right, let's adjust this Instagram one so that it doesn't show sideways so people are tilting their heads. All right. Okay, so finally Pooh Bear decided to weigh in. He's saying honey Dijon.
Okay, great. I like that. Anyone else? I am about to roll out the dough shortly and then put in all of the condiments, but you can pick. Do you want honey Dijon mustard or do you want the classic yellow mustard?
Look, I'm hungry, so I think we need to go with the honey thing.
Neil is hungry, y'all. Okay, so I am going to get my pan ready. I'm going to put my parchment paper on there. Thank you all for joining in. If you are joining in for the first time, you know that we spontaneously do these little videos.
Dusty
and Neil and his
shenanigans.
Oh, thank you, Dusty. All right, so Meal-In-A-Loaf, it's something that you can do with your families. It's simple, straightforward. Once you need the flour, and you can check out my recipe on spiceaislecafe.com. And you know, it's something fun to do with the whole family. All right, so I just have my baking sheet. I'm going to put out parchment paper. And I am going to knead the flour and put everything out, and you'll see how I do this. If you're just joining in, you can weigh in on which mustard I should use for this Meal-In-A-Loaf recipe. Do you want the classic yellow mustard, or do you want the honey mustard?
So Carolyn was voting for the yellow mustard, and Carolyn is asking, where are the potatoes? I
no potatoes in Meal-In-A-Loaf. No potatoes in Meal-In-A-Loaf. I am not putting any potatoes in this cheese. And you have a dough.
See, and I could have told Carolyn that, but I wanted to give you a chance to shine. I think you should have just said that from the beginning.
Oh my goodness.
You know?
Oh my goodness. All right. So Neil is playing with the egg, y'all. This is what I have to deal with. That's why he's not getting any dinner tonight.
Of what?
He's not getting food. He's getting dinner, but it's going to be the Meal-In-A-Loaf.
That's how arm drags happen.
Oh my goodness. You know what time it is. Okay, if you are just joining in, we are making Meal-In-A-Loaf. You didn't hear me say we this time, huh?
Oh, I that's why I didn't say anything. You want a trophy for everything?
Oh my goodness. Anyway, we are weighing in. Do you want the yellow classic mustard, or do you want the honey mustard?
Carrie, you said you mixed up what you were making.
Oh yeah, so Meal-In-A-Loaf, y'all. Meal-In-A-Loaf tonight. I decided not to cook big set of meals, and I'm gonna keep it simple. If you like making pizza, think of this like the Caribbean pizza. All right, Meal-In-A-Loaf. I am about to lay out the flour, roll this baby up, and we're good to go. So we're making the quick version, okay? I had this dough resting for just maybe 15 minutes. You can rest it for about 30 minutes, but I'm doing the quick version because somebody's hungry tonight. And I am gonna lay this all out here. We're making Meal-In-A-Loaf. I just need the flour. You can check it out on spiceaislecafe.com. And I did grated Parmesan and Fontina cheese with sausage, okay? All right, people, I am going to sprinkle this baby. Thank you all for joining in and looking at our shenanigans.
So we actually have that former Marine just drop in.
Okay, so
to Sean.
Okay, hi. Thank you all for joining in. We are doing Meal-In-A-Loaf, and I am laying out the dough here. It's all-purpose flour that I used. Think of it like making pizza. And instead, I am going to
Come. Put your shoulders
noise.
into it.
People
you have to work it. Put your shoulders into
People
it.
are not going to hear me.
Work it.
Listen, he's hungry, y'all. That's what's happening. He is hungry. So I decided not to cook tonight. So that's what's happening. Not cooking. And I am just kneading this baby out. It's nice and pliable. So I'm just gonna.
So John just joined in. Janelle.
Hi.
She was asking, why do I have on an apron when I'm not cooking anything? And
everyone knows Neil.
I'm just letting her know that this is all my idea and my recipe. So just put some respect.
Y'all know better than that. Y'all know better than that.
Don't try to take my shine. Anyhow.
So Meal-In-A-Loaf, I am needing rolling out the dough right now. Think of it like pizza, but we have to close the dough. All right. I am making this pastry that we use back home. I'm sure a lot of Caribbean people pass by their bakeries, and there is some version of this. We had that a lot home. I think some of us even forgot. So we're making Meal-In-A-Loaf. I am rolling out the dough. We're still waiting for the verdict. Are we using honey mustard or are we using the yellow classic mustard? Because that has to be the base before I put the cheese and the sausage. So let me know what you think. Thank you all for joining in and looking at our shenanigans here.
It will be a shenanigan if you're doing it right.
Y'all, Neil is hungry right now. That's what's happening.
No, it's not that. I have to be here to guide you. Because as we know, if I don't guide you, you don't know what you're doing.
So, okay. All right.
It looks all right.
Okay, everyone can they see this dough?
I'm gonna try to make sure they can.
Making sure everyone can see this dough. I am going to.
For those of you who want a better view, remember we're live on vlog.spice.
Yeah, we are live on vlog.spice Cafe. You can check that out. I am washing my hands so I can start putting in all of the fixings. But before I do that, I need your decision on, oh my goodness. Okay, Google, preheat oven to 350 degrees. Okay, that's how you know it's shenanigans. The oven was not even open, y'all.
I would not have made that mistake.
It was not even on. My goodness. I think both of us hungry. That's what's happening. Both of us hungry right now. So I decided not to cook tonight and make a pastry called Meal-In-A-Loaf. I need the flour and everything. And now I'm about to put the fixings on here and then bake it in the oven, okay? Thank you all for joining. I don't know if you guys have time to weigh in. Do you want me to use Dijon mustard or do you want me to use the yellow classic mustard? Sorry for those of you who are not fan of mustard. I'm sure you can leave it out and probably just butter the bottom of your dough as well if you want to do that. But for me, I'm gonna line it with mustard. What are the people saying, Neil? Are we gonna do Dijon or yellow mustard?
We were 50-50. It was Carolyn was saying yellow mustard and Pooh Bear was saying honey mustard.
Only those two? Everybody else?
And Daniel just weighed in and said the Dijon.
Dijon. So yeah. We have Dijon as the winner right now?
That's what it looks like.
Okay, so then I'm using Dijon mustard. So I am just going to, let me shake this up real well. If you are just joining in, thank you so much. I am doing Meal-In-A-Loaf right now. So, it's one of the pastries we do back home. And I am...
Daniel is boasting about being the tiebreaker.
Yes, and I am going to paste this dough here with some Dijon mustard.
Sweetums Kane had voted for the classic, which was the yellow, which made it.
So how about this? I'm going to use both mustards.
No, you can't do that.
I am going to use
that is not how I taught you.
Half of one and half of the other, unless someone breaks the tie again.
No, but that's not how I taught you.
So let's see. Neil is not checking all the same
checking.
one.
I'm checking.
So, do we want Dijon mustard and honey, or do you want the classic? Now we have 4 people, 2 and 2, saying.
So Noel says Dijon.
Okay, we have another tiebreaker.
And Daniel just said Dijon.
So. Okay, so it's Dijon mustard. It is the majority rules tonight. So we are going to. I am just going to paste this on. You can use as much or as little as you like. For me, I am.
Just make sure you use the right amount to make my meal taste good.
Oh my goodness. So I'm just going to paste that baby in. And you can the people see?
Yes, they can.
Once they can see, that's all I ask right now. So I am actually using the mustard, the Dijon honey mustard. I'm going to put in just a little bit because mustard could be a little salty sometimes. If you are just joining in, I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf. You need your dough as if you're going to make bread. And you put some mustard, as I'm doing now, on your dough. And then, almost like you're creating pizza, but it's not pizza. Okay? So, I am going to put some cheese in the bottom, put the meat in the middle, and put more cheese on top. Woo! But here's the trick. You cannot put it on the whole thing. You need to use like halfway, okay? So, I'm laying it halfway because you have to close that dough. Have the cheese. I mix Fontina cheese and Parmesan. I think on the recipe on my website, I have cheddar cheese. You can do whatever you like, whatever you prefer, okay? And sausage here, I just use beef sausage, so that's fine, whatever you'd like. I'm only putting this halfway because you have to close the dough. If I put the whole thing, it's not going to close as how I expect it to, okay? So here I put Dijon mustard, brush that on, you put cheese, then you put a layer of the sausage, or put all the sausage really. You have to grate the sausage first. Put all that sausage goodness in there.
And saying the yellow mustard is for the color. I don't know if that's a question.
It is for the color, yes, but this one would also bring it out too.
She only gets that because I texted it to her. She's wondering about that.
So I'm adding more cheese on top of this, y'all. Remember, I mixed Parmesan and Fontina. If you can't find that, you can use good old cheddar or whatever you'd like. The majority rule, so I use Dijon mustard instead of yellow mustard, but back home they use yellow mustard. I just wanted you guys to have a say in what's happening. So this is where the trick comes in. I'm going to wash my hands again.
I think, I'm not sure if he's still here, but DJ Supreme Dallas, which is Joel, I think.
Oh, nice.
Brother. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Hi, Joel.
Yeah, he joined in.
Hi. Okay, so I am going to take the dough. I'm just going to cut off some excess right now. All right, so I'm just going to cut off some excess.
When I do it, there's no excess.
Now, thank you all for joining in and listening to our shenanigans. I am going to I'm just cutting off some excess dough. We're making Meal-In-A-Loaf. It's one of those pastries we make back home for sure. And I like it. And I decided not to cook tonight. So we are going to do Meal-In-A-Loaf for dinner. Okay. You can find this recipe on spiceaislecafe.com. All right. So this is where it comes in. Let me move these Dijon and classic all the way. All I did was to brush on some mustard. I put some cheese, which is the Fontina and the Parmesan. You can use cheddar or whatever you'd like. some sausage, and more cheese on top, okay? And now I'm gonna take, I only did it halfway, so I can take the other half and put it at the top. Got it? So this is gonna be beautiful. Yes.
Make sure you do that properly, you know.
So I'm using my fingers to kind of like crimp the edges before I use the fork, because I have to transfer this now to my parchment paper on my baking sheet, okay? So I'm just crimping these edges just with my finger for now. I mean, you can do any fancy smancies you like, but Neil and I are going to devour this in a minute. So no time for fancy smancies. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm just crimping the edges, and I'm going to use a fork in a while to put it up. Hopefully it doesn't break or anything. I'm just using my good old fingers. If you're just joining in, I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf. As you can see, this looks like a whole meal, okay? Because I have some good old cheese, sausage, mustard in there. And I'm about to transfer this to the baking sheet. This is very tricky, y'all, but I'm gonna try. Let's see.
We don't try, we just do.
Where's my spatula? Okay, let's see how I can do this. I am gonna try my best to transfer this over. I'm just picking up the edges. This is kind of tricky. Should have just done everything on top of the. Neil, I need your help. Actually, need his help to push this dough under here so I can transfer it to the top. Okay. All right, y'all. This is some trick. Oh my goodness. Hopefully it doesn't bust. Oh my goodness.
Hold on. The man has to step in.
No. The man doesn't have to step in.
You sure?
All right, Carol did it, y'all. Carol did it. So I just transferred the dough. Are you gonna be nice?
What you talking about?
It's not as pretty as I'd like, but next time, for those of you who are trying this for the first time, you can just do it on here. So we're making Meal-In-A-Loaf, and now I am going to just paste this on and shove it in the oven. You just need one egg. If you don't like egg, that's fine. You can just bake it just like that. Okay? So I'm just gonna brush on some egg here. We're making Meal-In-A-Loaf. Thank you all for joining. This is one of the pastries we use back home.
Pooh Bear was suggesting that for the future we can use a pizza paddle or large spatulas.
Yeah, we could definitely use.
But I don't know if Pooh Bear.
That was one of the
sending us
things.
the pizza paddle? No, you're not.
So I did this before with even less equipment, but for some reason, you can see I haven't made this in a long time. But
that's because I made it the last time.
Yeah, right. Everyone knows the best. Anyway, so my oven has preheated, and now I am going to put this Meal-In-A-Loaf in the oven, and I will cut it nice and hot for you to see. Thank you all for joining in. You can find this recipe on spiceislecafe.com. I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf is one of those things, pastries, I should say, that we use back home. Okay. So in we go, y'all. It's big. And I'm going to put this in the oven. Yeah, it should take about 25 to 30 minutes maybe. So we'll just have to.
We'll field some live questions right now.
Yeah, we'll take some questions if you guys have any while I clean up. So thank you all for coming in and seeing what's what. We did Meal-In-A-Loaf. So I need flour and roll that out almost like making pizza. And I put cheese and mustard and sausage and like cover that and crimp the edges and bake. It's now in the oven. So I wish you guys were here to taste it. That's dinner. I decided not to make any rice and peas and soup and whatever it is that's food tonight. I'm like, we are going to do Meal-In-A-Loaf.
Also, feel free to request to be live in the Instagram feed. Since it's my personal feed, yeah, we'll just bring you in and field any live questions.
Yeah, ask any questions. I hope you all are keeping safe out there. I know it's a crazy time, but we got to keep being positive. This is one of my Zen kind of a thing. This is one of the things that's like my escape. Once I can be in the kitchen, I'm good.
Yeah, so feel free to, like I said, request to be live in here. You know, you can volunteer your Pooh Bear or Sweetums Canes. Those are the two on the Instagram feed. I don't think I can go live with folks on the live YouTube stream.
All right, y'all, if you're just tuning in, I made, well, it's still baking now. Meal-In-A-Loaf is one of the pastries we used when I was back home. And you're really hungry and don't want to cook, you can go to the bakery and get some Meal-In-A-Loaf. All right. After school, we would head to the bakery, Meal-In-A-Loaf. All right. So if you do not want to cook and you're tired of making pizza or you want to make it in a different way, you can think about Meal-In-A-Loaf. All right. I'm just going to clean up. And
like I said, we're in the Q&A section. Happy to field any questions about the possible next upcoming dish. So yeah, what are we probably going to do next?
Yeah, what are we going to do next? Well, this weekend is Easter weekend. So
we have a request to go live. All right,
that's fantastic.
So we can bring the questions.
The thing that we can possibly do next, because this is Easter coming up.
We have live.
Hi, how are you doing? Oh my goodness, all the way from California.
Let's get the others in.
I love it.
Feed. Yeah.
Good. You can come on in, ask your questions while this thing bakes.
Okay, very cool.
I mean, is it something that you guys think you might be able to do? It's kind of like making pizza, just in a, you just have to close the door instead of leaving it face open.
Oh, it looks amazing. I'm super hungry right now.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Well, if you visit, you can have some of those, yes. For sure. Yeah, but upcoming, maybe because this is the weekend of Easter, there will be more island-like things that I do. Anything buns related again. We're going to do something with sweet potato, either a pudding or something from his island that they call dukana. So, things like that. There would be.
Dukana is a secret. We don't publish that live. We don't talk about that. Forget you even heard the word.
And what's funny is that I am a Grenadian and we don't do dukana, we do sweet potato pudding. But since I've been with my husband, I have tried to come into his world a little bit, So that might be something, as well as some of the dessert, carrot cake, something.
I'm not sure I would take Neil's cooking advice.
Well, just know
Mine is
that
the best.
because of this Easter holiday, I will
Let
be
me
doing
get you on
something.
this shot.
I definitely will be doing something. And it's supposed to rain here in Texas, in Travis County, for the next 3 or 4 days. So Carolyn will be in her kitchen.
Yeah, it's been raining here too, but I've been eating all kinds of bad stuff.
Oh man, well, you really need a flight over here, but we just can't travel right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are there any other questions, or are you here to chit chat?
Well, leave him alone.
Oh yeah. Neil, please explain the dishes of your homeland for me in detail.
The dishes of your homeland in detail.
Oh, indeed. Like I said, it's not something we like to talk about a lot. It's a family secret, passed from generation to generation. So I'll be disowned by my people if I were to explain to you the secret arts of dukkana and sawfish, and all that fancy stuff. But feel free to ask Spice Al Cafe, questions about her island's dishes.
Oh my goodness. And go ahead.
I was gonna say, so it's so secret that he puts on an apron and gloves.
You know Neil is just doing that for style. He's not cooking anything.
Hey, we have to stay focused.
He's cooking up excuses. That's what he's cooking up. Oh my goodness. But I hope you're keeping safe out there, and everyone else out there, they're keeping safe.
So Johnson just joined in. He's asking to FedEx.
FedEx?
Yes.
Oh.
All right. Well, thank you, Gabe, for requesting to join in.
Yeah.
And we'll see you around. Stay
Bye,
safe, Pooh Bear.
Take care.
All right. All right. For the rest of you in the live question and answer section, feel free to send a request.
Or segment right now. That's
Don't correct me. Feel free to send in a request to be live, and we'll just tune you in.
Yeah, we'll tune you in, and you can ask your questions directly, and I'll be happy to help you out. So, if you are just joining in,
Johnson was asking who cooking the saltfish. Well, I mean,
it's gonna be Carol. Johnson, you know better.
No, I would cook the saltfish, but because I have to run tech and all of that, I can't.
Johnson,
I can do everything at once, but I don't want to outshine Spice Al.
Johnson is a bunch of excuses. It's excuses. A lot of excuses here, not solutions.
So if we're feeling the live questions, feel free to send in a request, ask the question. If you're on the live stream at blog.spicealcafe.com, send in your questions. If you're on my Instagram feed, feel free to send those in as well.
All right, so we made a Meal-In-A-Loaf today. It's still in the oven, so I'm gonna take it out once it's ready so that you can see it. It's a pastry we use back home. It's filled with sausage and cheese and mustard. So you guys can definitely check out the recipe on spicealcafe.com. And let me know if you try it and how it works out for you. It's pretty good.
So are we sold on the fact that you're doing dukkana next week? Because I told you, I'm not sure how I feel about you doing dukkana live. That's a risky move,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Antigans are petty.
Oh my goodness.
Coming from an Antiguan himself.
Listen.
That's a risky move.
You guys would have to cut Carol some slack if Carol decides to.
So, hey, Alex, she's saying hi.
Alex.
And Johnson is asking when we're doing current roles.
Oh.
Like I said, we'll send a request to join the live feed as well. We'll rope you in and field your live questions.
So, because this is Easter weekend, Carol will be in the kitchen I'll be in the kitchen every day, but I wouldn't do a live every day. But for the next couple of days, the forecast is that it's going to be raining and thunderstorms. There will be. So I will be cooking. And Easter or Good Friday, I plan to do something very island-like, something with salt fish and salted cod, as some of you guys call it.
I think I'm going to have to restart my live stream.
What?
There's a limit on it.
Okay.
So yeah, I suppose on how long I can go. So let's resume the live stream.
Yeah, we just disconnect everybody. We need to apologize.
I know. I didn't know there was a limit. Yeah.
But no, you know how many people when I watch it live.
Karine, I just saw Karine's question.
Yeah.
About what's the next recipe on the menu.
Oh man. Hi everyone. Sorry about that
disconnection.
That disconnection there. I think there was a limit or something and it just disconnected for a brief. So I really apologize. Sorry for the disconnect that happened. We are baking what do you call that? Meal-In-A-Loaf. Think of it kind of like pizza, but it has to be closed. It's not open faced. It's a pastry we use back home, and I hope you guys will try it. Check my blog, spicecafe.com. Now, the questions that my sister and other people had about what am I going to do next, because this is Easter weekend. Trust me, I'll be in my kitchen and there will be live streaming. I will do something very island-like. There will be some salted cod. I probably will stew that down. I will do something with sweet potatoes for sure. Either sweet potato pudding or dukana that is really true to my husband island of Antigua. But there will be some other pastry involved. It just depends. Sometimes I go with the mood and the flow and the vibes I feel. So stay tuned for the whole weekend. Tiff just joined in. Hi, Tiff. Happy anniversary. So I am making.
Like we said to all, feel free to send a request to join the live stream.
Sorry for the little interruptions. Yeah. Sorry for the little interruption. I am baking in the kitchen. Something is in the oven. It's called Meal-In-A-Loaf. So that is what's going on.
So we have propaganda being spread by Karine. She's like, you can have a cook alone segment where you let us know what you're doing in advance. So, cook along. I thought she was saying alone, trying to imply that. Anyways.
Yes.
So she wants to cook along, where we let them know what we're doing in advance so they can buy the same ingredients and cook along.
Oh, that is a beautiful idea. Thank you, sis.
That sounds like one of my ideas.
Well, she is my sister. So, yes, Karine. So one of these days on the live stream, I'm going to have like a cook along event where I'm going to tell you in advance what we're going to be making. You can buy the ingredients. And we are going to cook together. So,
Alex
thank you, sis.
Making a joke when you said you're doing Meal-In-A-Loaf. She's like, not to be confused with meatloaf.
Yes, not to be confused with meatloaf. I am doing Meal-In-A-Loaf. So we are making this pastry because I decided not to cook tonight.
And for those that even missed the beginning, you can always find it back on the blog itself. On blog.spicecafe, the live feed is there, and you can always rewind.
All right, my husband is saying that you guys can rewind if you're just joining in to see how from the live feed, because I showed step by step what I did from kneading the dough to putting all the fixing on it before I push it in the oven. In a while, I'm going to check and see how it's coming along. And we are going to have Meal-In-A-Loaf for dinner tonight because I decided not to cook, but bake.
Like we say, we're fielding any live requests to be in the stream for any questions. All right, Alex saying she got to run, but thanks for joining in.
Thank you so much for joining in, Alex. See you next time. Happy Easter. All right, if you are just joining in here, we are doing Meal-In-A-Loaf tonight since Carol decided not to cook, which is rare. But it's one of the pastries we use back home. And I keep saying back home, but for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about or where I'm talking about, is Grenada, the Spice Isle of the Caribbean. So we're doing Meal-In-A-Loaf. It's a nice pastry. You can get everything in one. And next time I do another live stream will be this Easter weekend for sure.
So Pooh Bear is asking if we're going to post pictures of the end result.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will. We will.
Yes, we will. Hopefully Neil can try to, eat out of it beforehand. But you can check out my blog at spiceislecafe.com and you would find the recipe on there. I came up with it because I liked eating Meal-In-A-Loaf, and I never knew how they went about doing it. So I tried and tried and tried until I found something that worked for me, and I hope it works for you too, okay? So if you're tired of cooking and you just want to, have fun with the family and make something else, try Meal-In-A-Loaf. So it's baking right now, and I'm just cleaning up.
So how much time, how much longer?
So usually this will take about 30 minutes or so in the oven. It has been in the oven for about 15-20 minutes, so another 10 minutes or so, and I will take it out and cut it up.
So we can take another live question. Let me see. So I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
let's see what the questions. Ask the questions, guys. I'm not afraid to answer. Just keep it coming.
Yes, we'll take any other live questions.
Someone is asking something on here.
Oh, so see, Pooh Bear just put it together. Spice Isle Cafe equals Spice Isle of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Makes so much more sense.
Yep. Oh, y'all, it's smelling so good in here right now. So good in here. I wish I can have a party. It's just gonna be a virtual party. Yes, everything is just nice. I'm telling you. I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf if you're just joining in, and it's something that we ate back home. Little Grenadian spice girl.
So what else is on the menu after you attempt the Antiguan Ducana, which, like I said, is a very risky move?
So what else might be on the menu for this weekend? I have to say might, because I go with the flow, with the vibes, with how I feel. I open my pantry and my refrigerator and get inspired. Okay.
There's a lot of
So, well, everyone knows you're just kind of like, you're here for style. So I think I might do some kind of, this is honey. Let me talk to the people. So I am trying to do some, you cannot do that. Like, seriously.
You gotta focus.
Are you going to allow me to talk to the people?
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu, these academies need to hurry up and open because I'm the guinea pig in the house. Anyway, I digress.
Yes,
so this weekend I'm going to do something with salted cod, or as we would say back home, salt fish. And I'm going to stew that down and probably do some vegetables on the side and do something with sweet potato.
So the Ducana is not going to come with saltfish?
Oh, it will come with saltfish. So I'm just telling the people, because you asked me what we plan.
After the Ducana, yeah.
So after the Ducana, there might be some hot crust buns. I might do hot crust buns. It just depends. I'll see what ingredients I have, So I would do a dessert. It might be carrot cake, hot crust buns, or what do you call that?
We have to do something
raisin roll, maybe
that the people can do with us.
Well, we'll see. I have to figure out what one of the things I want to do, because not everybody can get salted cod, but that might be something they can do. Yeah, I have to think about it, but yeah, there are definitely going to be a few things we can do this weekend. Someone is leaving. Is Poohbear leaving?
Probably.
Yeah. Bye. I hope you guys. Meal.
All right.
So I'm baking. Is everyone gone?
Well, the people on the live stream, the YouTube one.
Okay. Okay, so I'm making Meal-In-A-Loaf. If you are still on the live stream here, it's in the oven. I'm gonna check it in a while, and that's what we're gonna have for dinner because I decided not to cook.
Do you think that one of the times for the cook along they can just do kuma?
Are you suggesting that, or did somebody ask that?
I'm suggesting kuma.
Well, it depends because that kuma is a lot of frying, a lot of work.
Sounds like an excuse.
But yeah, right. But I might. Yeah, a long time I haven't made kumar, but yeah, that might be something. But it wouldn't be. No.
Okay.
It'd be one of the later. But yeah, Neil is asking about me making kumar. I haven't made kumar in a long time, but I certainly can. But that's not gonna be for Easter weekend. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. So.
Is the Meal-In-A-Loaf ready as yet?
No, it's not. Patience.
How do you know?
So I know it's smelling so good in here, but I'm gonna check it. Put my light on. Okay, I'm gonna give this another. All right, I'm gonna take this out in 5 minutes, and we can see how this looks. Okay, I'm just gonna put this back in the fridge, and yeah, for those of you who are on the live, it's about to come out. Let me take out my cooling rack. My cooling rack is out. I'm just gonna put away a few things and then we will be taking this out and cutting it up and you guys would smell it from afar.
So I have another question.
Yeah, other question. Bring it
on. What about coconut tart?
Oh yeah, I make coconut tart, but the Grenadian
can we do it
way.
as a cook along?
We can do coconut tart as a cook along, but the Grenadian way. I don't know how Antiguans make coconut tart. For us, when we make coconut tart, we make the dough and then we make the coconut filling for the inside and that's it. But it seems like the texture with the Antiguan coconut tart, it's like coconut buns meet tart in one.
Antiguan coconut tart is the only kind of coconut tart, you know.
And so it's a little different.
I feel as if you're not acknowledging my comments.
I am.
Okay. But we can do it with the live cook along. So is that going to be next on the list after the?
I cannot say next on the list. So we need to think about this. I don't want to lie to the people. We do have coconuts, which is a good thing.
Okay. So coconut tart is a potential.
Is a potential, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but after I finish tomorrow, I would see what's what. But I know now with all what's happening, people have limited things in their home.
Okay. Yeah. That's.
So we'll see. All right, I think I'm about to take out the Meal-In-A-Loaf. It has been, cooking in the oven. I don't think anyone knows. So it has been in the oven and I am going to take that out and give it a little bit before I cut into it so you can see all the layers of goodness before we eat. So, you can go back to Spice Al Cafe for the recipe and the live to see how the process works, okay? All right, so I am going to take this baby out of the oven right now. Woo, lordy. It just smells so delicious. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. It's huge. It's huge, and there's a nice golden crust at the top. So I am going to, cut that in because we love it when it's hot and steamy, okay? And then put it on a plate so you can see exactly how this works. So I'm just gonna get me a knife. And a plate. So I think, do you need to take a picture of this before I cut it? So for the people who need to.
All right, so the Pixel 4 to the work. You have to let those people know that you're.
I'm getting a call here. I'm getting a call in. Hi, Tim.
I cannot believe she's on the while we're on a live feed.
Hi, honey. I am still on the live, so I'm gonna give you a quick call back. And I know that you are enjoying your time over there. Okay, I think we're breaking up. So I'm gonna give you a call back, and yeah. All right, sorry about that. I thought I was getting a question.
So for those just joining in on the Instagram feed, feel free to go to vlog.spiceoutcafe.com to see the recipe and everything else. Let's cut in. Cut in.
Yeah, so we're about to cut in. I made what we call Meal-In-A-Loaf, not meatloaf, Meal-In-A-Loaf. And I am going to cut into the nice crust at the top. Well, it's not, it's just nice and golden brown. And now I'm going to cut into it. I do not have a pizza cutter or anything, but I am going to use, let's see how I want to cut it. How do you want to cut it, honey? Should I just do it in square?
No, you need my advice. I like triangles.
He likes triangles.
Yeah.
So
no jiu-jitsu relation.
I'm going to cut the middle and then kind of like make them like triangles as he stated, okay? Yeah, back home it used to be like triangles, so I am trying to see how I want to do this. Okay.
You seem nervous.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut it in half first of all.
All right.
Let's when I cut it, we can see the layers in there. Look at this goodness, y'all.
Let's get
the meat, the dough, the cheese, and the meat all just beautiful.
Let's give them a close-up.
Yes, get the close-up right here. Look at this. The cheese and the meat and all that goodness. Ooh, I wanna dance. Yes.
Almost like they were looking at me.
So we just made Meal-In-A-Loaf, and now I am going to cut in. And so yeah, let's see how it is. He likes triangles, he said, so I'm gonna try to get some triangles out of this style. Okay. I'm telling you, it's some gorgeousness. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. The steam is still coming out. Look at this goodness. Hey. So I'm gonna just put it on a plate because I know Neil is probably dying of hunger right now.
No, I just have high expectations. Let me bring it to the view so they can.
Oh, okay.
Watch your hand.
I was gonna do one on top of each other so that they can see.
Yes. There it is. That's my handiwork, folks.
Top line to the people.
I'll take a picture and post it as me.
Oh no. Okay. Woo.
It's all good.
Let me get the layers.
All right.
All right. Well, I hope you guys will try this nice recipe here. It's really hot. Woo! It is hot. Yes, I like you to see all of the layers in there, and it's yummy. It's yummy. I'm already digging in. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh my goodness. It's gorgeous. Thank you all for, checking out this. And let me know when you try it and how it goes for you. I love to hear it. Okay? So that's it. I think we are. All right, love you all. Try to be safe and tune in this weekend because trust me, I will be in the kitchen.
And I do acknowledge Karen's question. Yes, Antigua has coconut taco. The greatest.
Not the Grenadian style coconut
The greatest
taco.
coconut.
But anyway,
All
check
right,
out the blog Spice Isle Cafe. Neil would have it up .com and you will find the recipe and everything. Love y'all. Bye.